Welcome to another episode of Sales Culture Unfiltered. And I am so excited for today's guest, Cari Kenzie. Cari Kenzie is a keynote speaker, leadership advisor, and founder of KINZA, a firm redefining what it means for high capacity women to scale, exit, or evolve without losing themselves in the process. After building and selling a multi-million dollar agency, Cari now guides founders through the real work of legacy, clarity, identity, and leadership that actually honors who they are. She sits on multiple advisory boards and is known for helping women exit with intention, wealth, and wholeness by design, not default. So excited for our conversation today. Trust me, you are in for a treat. So if you're ready, let's be real. Let's have some real talk. And we're so excited that we get to talk with a real leader. Tune in. Welcome to Sales Culture Unfiltered, the podcast where we get real about what actually makes or breaks high-performing sales teams. I'm your host, Dr. Nadia Y. Brown, a sales culture and communication architect, and I work with sales leaders to engineer high-impact teams that hit their numbers without burning out or breaking down. On this show, we dive into unfiltered conversations with sales leaders, industry experts, and high-performing teams about what it really takes to drive revenue, retain talent, and build a winning sales culture. If you're tired of surface-level advice and want the strategies, challenges, and hard-won wins that actually matter, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome to Sales Culture Unfiltered, Cari. How are you?
I'm so good, love. How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm so excited you're here. I can't wait for this
Yeah.
conversation. I'm like,
I was counting down from about 9:30 this morning.
right? I was like, is it time yet? Is it time yet?
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, I just want to dive right in because some of the things that we've talked about, prior to hitting record really just sparked my interest. So, let's just start with a bold statement that you shared. Why do you believe sales is the ultimate test of leadership?
Isn't
And
that
what
amazing?
have you personally seen or experienced that led you to this conclusion?
Yeah. It's such a fantastic little nugget that I think I've known for a long period of time, but when it just
Mhm.
kind of came into this I don't know, full-fledged idea in existence, I was like, oh, it's so true because I think that, well, one, traditionally, salespeople have to be motivated, they have to be
Yeah.
driven, right? They have to be persistent and resilient, all of the things.
Hmm.
But I think that more than anything, as I look at leadership and I look at leadership in the way that we need to move forward, future leadership, not past leadership. Okay. So I'm talking like future leadership.
Yes.
It is in a self-awareness first and
Hmm.
foremost.
Hmm.
And when I think about sales and I think about individuals who place themselves in that position of being front and center,
Hmm.
of being the ones to put themselves out there to have conversations, that truly is key. That element of self awareness. And I'm not talking about the well, I'm aware of how I look, or I'm aware of the conversation I'm going to have, or I've got intention because I understand my goals and I understand, right? So I have self-awareness.
Right.
And I'm talking about that internal awareness,
Hmm.
that internal understanding of who it is that I am, period, is enough as I show up in this space.
That's so good. I've
And
had that. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, love. No,
I was
you
just
go.
going to share that I've had the opportunity to see you in action at one of your leadership reframe events. And I love this conversation. That's actually one of my questions. Did not share all the questions with her ahead of time. So I would love for you to talk a little bit more as you were probably on your way around the role that self-awareness does play in sales performance from both the leadership perspective and also from the sales rep perspective.
Well, so the self-awareness, here's the thing that people don't understand consciously. I
Hmm.
think we have kind of a like, what is that? You walk into a room sometimes and you go, "Ooh, God, what is that?" Right? It just doesn't feel good in here. As a salesperson, when you step into a sales meeting, your energy steps in before you do. The
Hmm.
people who you are having a conversation with, who you are inviting into a sales experience, inviting into the product, the service it is that you are offering,
Yeah.
are only vaguely hearing the words that you're speaking because your energy is already announcing to them your intention.
Wow. That's so powerful.
And the intention that you bring forward is based on how much of that self awareness and alignment you have at play. So when we look at that self awareness, it's in understanding what is the genius, what is the gift, what is the true value of who I am and what I bring into this space.
Hmm.
Period. And
Period.
when I can step into a sales conversation, I can step into a meeting, I can step into the culture of my organization with that kind of self awareness and stick with it,
Yeah.
I'm going to show up more authentically. And that is immediately going to build trust with the
Hmm.
individual that I am inviting into the experience that I'm offering.
Yeah.
However, when we show up out of alignment, and this can come in a couple of key ways. Here's my experience of being out of alignment as it pertains to sales. And I learned this very, very early on in my career. I don't do goals. I
Mm.
don't. You put a goal in front of me and it is a barrier. I
Hmm.
don't see it as being like something I need to strive for.
Right.
I see it as a container.
Wow.
And so anytime I would focus on the number, the
Hmm.
goal,
Hmm.
I could tell my energy would shift.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I would show up in the conversation with the individual, with the prospect, completely different. So I
Hmm.
took goals off of my table completely. And this is prior to owning my business. Okay, great. I love, yeah, yep, you've got goals. Just that's awesome. You can look at them, you can think about them. And when I understood that about myself, my sales skyrocketed.
Nice.
I mean, they've done research about this. The Harvard Business Review says that those who excel in sales have that kind of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. It's self-emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
They are going to excel over those who just perform at average.
Hmm. So I love this conversation, and I definitely want to come back because, we love talking about alignment. But as a leader, so you had this self-awareness for yourself as a salesperson, but then stepping into a leadership role, how did that play out for you as a leader in terms of goals and things? Like how did you do that or address that with your team members?
So what's interesting is that worked for me.
Right.
That didn't work for everybody.
Hmm.
And so, and here's a kind of the key component that people don't understand when we look at leadership, we think about all leadership, traditional events that you go to, always look at how you're leading other people,
Hmm.
right? So we're always looking kind of outside of self. It makes it hard, quite honestly. So, because I deeply understood that about myself, I could better have an awareness around what it was that other people needed
Nice.
because I wasn't consistently trying to place something out on them that I either liked or didn't like.
Hmm.
I wasn't trying to overcome it. I was I just understood that about me. I had team members who loved goals. They loved goals. I had to put goals out there for them so they could crush them because that's what they wanted to do, right? And I understood that. When
Yeah.
you have that awareness of self, you have that ability to be able
Hmm.
to see others where they sit and the value they bring. The other thing, too, I also knew. So once I stepped out of that kind of sales role and I purchased the organization that I was in, then I began to understand I'm not a farmer as a
Hmm.
salesperson. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm just not. I had done it for a long period of time because I
Yeah.
was on my own. Right. But
Right.
as I began to build a team, I
Hmm.
knew, oh, this girl is not a farmer. I'm not the project manager. I'm not the hand holder, the one who's gonna, I would love to. It's just not in me. I don't have
Yeah.
birthdays listed out and all of those types of like So what did I do? I brought in people who did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So I think even as a salesperson, understanding if you are in sales and you have the opportunity to bring an assistant in or
Do
somebody to
it.
walk alongside you, do it and then understand their gift. Maybe you are a farmer and you actually need that assistant to make those cold calls for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's funny because a lot of times we try to hire us, right? Like we like our strengths and the things that we like, but we often need to hire the opposite of us,
Yes.
the people to balance us out.
Yeah. Because if only there were five of me.
Right? Because I mean, I am special. We are special.
Right.
And
And I've also said I also would not want to marry me.
right. Oh, girl. I tell my husband often, bless you.
Right.
You are a blessed man because I don't know how you do it.
So right.
So let's go back to this conversation around alignment. In your opinion, what happens when a leader is misaligned with the sales culture that they're trying to build?
Mm. Oh, well, um, if they're misaligned with the culture they're trying to build, they're misaligned in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you're misaligned in yourself, your focus, your clarity is very, very narrow.
Mm-hmm.
You have blind spots. Therefore, you're not really going to be able to see what's happening within the culture. What you are going to see, perhaps, is they're just not performing how they
Yeah.
need to. I don't understand why they don't just do the job. Why can't they make a decision? I don't understand why I have to step in and talk to the client because they can't have the difficult conversation. All of that is just simply a reflection back to where your leadership might be just a little bit out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say first and foremost. The second thing, though, that's going to happen within the culture itself is it's going to fracture and they are not going to perform.
Yeah.
They're not. What you will end up instilling is fear.
Mm-hmm.
You will end up instilling scarcity because they're
Mm-hmm.
always going to be standing on the edge wondering.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're seeing a lot of this right now. And so I'm so glad you bring this up because I have heard, and I know you have because we've had this conversation around leadership and organization coming in and completely renegotiating commission structures. That is a lack of alignment on the leadership standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because when you get into that, you become prove it driven. You're not mission or purpose oriented.
At all.
And you have just taken the ground that of confidence that every
Yeah.
single one of your sales associates stands on,
Yep.
and you fractured it.
Yeah.
So where you think that, oh, well, they'll just push harder,
Mm-hmm.
they actually pull back.
Yep.
And again, I go back to that energy. That energy is going to show up in the boardrooms, in the meetings, in the client offices.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be able to put their finger on it. That's the key.
Mm-mm.
Like the client's not going to be able to go, oh my gosh, right? Oh, I can see things got rocky for you, right?
Yep.
No, what they're going to feel is a lack of trust.
Yep.
They're not going to know that it's your lack of trust. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to think it's theirs,
Yep.
and they're not going to step forward with the deal. They're going to pull out of the deals, right? So
Yep.
it becomes this cascading effect. And I wish that leaders understood that.
Mm-hmm. Why do you feel that leaders make these decisions? Because to us on the outside, we're like, duh, like, why would you do that? It feels like it seems so obviously counterintuitive, counterproductive, and yet you see this happening often. Why do you think that leaders are making these decisions?
Because they're chasing profits and not purpose.
Oh,
I just said that out loud.
you did. You did. And it's recorded.
That's what I see.
Mhm.
That's what I see. They're chasing profits, not purpose. When I'm working with founders and leaders in organizations, specifically as we're looking at kind of that exit side of things, right? They're looking to
Mhm.
transition. They're trying to understand the transferability of their organization, right? How is it that they're going to be able to step out? That culture piece, that human capital piece is such a key component.
It is.
It is such a key component. And it actually drives the value of your organization and the overall wealth
Mm-hmm.
of the leader, of the founder, way more so than chasing those profits.
Absolutely. I think this is a great point for us to talk a little more about your work that you're doing, especially when you talk about new leadership, because there are a lot of things that we're seeing in organizations right now. And a lot of it, we're just looking at like, why, like how, why, like, why is this not obvious? So when you look at or you think about the work that and the work that you're doing and the things you're actually seeing day to day, talk to us about this new leadership and things that leaders, say you have a leader that just made this not so great decision and they realize the error of their ways. Like, how can you come back from this and really start to shift things from the way you may have done them in the past, but really shifting your leadership to change things in the organization?
So the new style of leadership, I mean, we've talked about this, Nadia. We're in a leadership crisis period. We just
Period.
are.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot continue to operate and lead organizations the way that we've done it in the past.
Mm-mm.
It has been a very hierarchical, a very prove it driven kind of culture. It
Yeah.
has been unbeknownst to the leaders, quite honestly, micromanaging in its own way.
Yeah.
Because leaders find themselves managing
Mm-hmm.
and telling, and then if it doesn't get done, they do it themselves,
Yeah.
or they can do it faster, or they can do it better, or you name it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What we need to do is we need to create a compassionate, conscious leader to step into organizations to be able to not only see like here's who I am
Mm-hmm.
as a leader. This is who I am and this is what I bring to the table, and I'm so confident in who I am that I don't have to take over what you do.
Mm.
Okay. When they're looking for mentorship in organizations, employees, staff, and they come to you and they're like, we need mentorship, they're not looking for the to-do list. They're not
Right.
looking for the strategy.
Mm-mm.
They're looking for how you show up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically asking you, could you show up a little bit different?
Please and thank you.
Right? Right. Because when you show up as that leader who has the awareness, who says, I truly understand who it is, what it is that I do, and the value that I bring, I'm no longer in competition with those around me.
Right.
I'm not competing with my staff. Okay. I'm not trying to strip out a commission in order to elevate my numbers because I don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I understand me and I come into that alignment, when I see where I've pulled myself out, because when you pull yourself out, you have absolutely no awareness to anything that's happening around you.
Right.
Right? Then I can see every single person who sits around me as a collaborative partner
I love that.
in an elevation of a mission and purpose that the organization instituted to create in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's changed, it's shifted over time. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're all going after that purpose, that impact,
Yeah.
that mission. And we become collaborative partners. And I lead from that place. It creates psychological safety, which is missing in
Mm-hmm.
organizations. It creates confidence. It creates empowered leaders for every single person in the organization.
Love that. Yeah. So as we're thinking about leaders who may be listening to this going, okay, all of this sounds great, Cari. I'm beginning to see the error of my ways. I
Right.
resemble some of those remarks, right? Where would they start? Like, what is just one step to get them to shift and start moving in the right direction
So here's the thing, life will throw you reflections all the time.
all the time?
If you're open to seeing it, however, as I know, because I have sat in the position of all of the leaders who have
Mm-hmm.
maybe just not walked the path the way that I would have preferred to in the past. Okay.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
life circumstances, let's say, we have to have something that comes in front of us that is a little bit more black and white. So,
Yeah.
Nadia, when we do the events, right, I bring
Mm-hmm.
in predictive index
I love
and
it.
I do it in a way that mirrors in front of you. Here's how you are hardwired. Let's bring some awareness to the beauty, the magic, the value that you are just because you're you, period.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're you. Okay. And then we take that a step further after we've really peeled away the layers and unpacked and went, oh my gosh, okay. So I am a very, very visionary person.
Mm-hmm.
I love to I love to talk to think. I am a brainstorm out loud type of individual. Not everybody is like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my detail's not quite so there. I understand that about myself, right?
Right.
So I can surround myself with people who lift it up, and I see it now as a complete gift.
I love
I
that.
see it as a gift. I can align the other people around it to support it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we bring in another little graph. And that graph is like, oh, so this is how you're hardwired. And when you show up and you're energized at the end of the day, it's because you did that.
Right. Right.
This is how you think you have to show up every day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you're burning out.
Wow.
This is why you're burning out. This is why you can't see beyond. So for me, I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's predictive index. I don't care if it's having a business coach or a consultant or somebody to be that reflective mirror back. Self-awareness is the absolute key. It is the key in developing leaders. It is the key for the founder to release an organization enough for leaders to be developed within
Yes.
it. Right? It is the valuation of the organization that helps to build wealth, that capital piece, that human piece.
I
And
love
it
that.
starts with awareness.
Yeah, the predictive index is definitely a mirror. Pretty giant mirror.
It is, but it's good. And you know what's crazy is so often, because I've done these events a number of different times, and so often, like when you very first get it, you're always looking for the wrong of it,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
I find interesting, right? So, like for me, it's not a lot of patience, and my detail is not quite there. And I was always looking for the wrong in that. How can I do my job if I'm not detail oriented? Well, I can
Right.
be very, very detail oriented in certain circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
right? My gift is because of that, I'm a very big risk taker,
Yep.
right? So there's always the beauty. We have to look at all of the beauty,
Yeah.
acknowledge and accept all of the beauty, and then
Mhm.
support everything else because that's why we're not all created the same.
Right.
That's why I would not marry myself because, girl, we'd be walking around with no plans. We may show up at the right airport. We might not. I don't know.
I would never be in today. I would always be somewhere in the future. Like, Nadia, where are you? So, yes.
Exactly. Come back.
Oh my gosh. This is so good. So, what's one truth about leading in sales that no one prepares you for?
Oh. uh, the one truth of leading in sales. They don't prepare. I think, you know what? It's okay to take it personal. That's what I would say.
Oh,
It's okay to take it personal
mm-hmm.
because we're human.
Yes.
And I think the more that we try to shut that down, the more locked up we become. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when we get out of alignment. It's okay. It doesn't have anything to do with you,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's a mirror and a reflection back to you
Right.
of maybe an element of that confidence that can continuously be built up, that
Mm-hmm.
self-awareness, maybe, that there's still a little shakiness underneath. It's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful gift, but
I
it's
love
okay to take
that.
it personal.
I love that. I've talked about that because you hear it. I remember first starting in sales and hearing that a lot. It's not personal, but I'm like, it feels that way. But it
I
feels
know.
that way. I know that mentally, yes, it's just business, it's not personal, but it feels very personal right now.
Well, and you know what? When you allow it to be personal, you
Hmm.
get to be curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
And that is a skill of sales, period. You
Yeah.
have to be curious. You have to
Yeah.
be courageously curious. And if I can't ask the questions of myself because that one hit so hard,
Hmm.
how on earth am I going to have the courage to come to you and be curious about something a little bit deeper than the surface that you provided to me?
True.
Can I ask the question beyond your no?
Right. Right. That's so good. That's so good. I think I know. Well, I'm not going to ask that question. You've talked about it enough. I think we talked about it enough. So, I
I
mean,
love it.
like you've just made it very clear in our conversation today around the importance of self-awareness.
Yeah.
I love that you brought up curiosity. That was definitely one of the things that also came up during your leadership refrain event where I attended. And it was just really, how do you start to lead from that place of curiosity? But I
Yeah.
love how even you brought it back to even yourself, because I think we're so judgy.
Oh,
And you judge others, you judge yourself, and you just really live a very harsh life. Like you look at things through such a harsh lens. And
yeah,
then I think that too, like you said, it brings you down.
it does.
Definitely doesn't lift your frequency or elevate you in any way. So I think that that's a leadership behavior that when you look at teams that are performing well and continue to perform well, they have that increased awareness and it's modeled starting with the leader. Would
Yeah.
you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I think
Yeah.
the biggest issue that I see in culture is a lack of curiosity, and it's a culture based on assumption.
Oh. Mm. Now we need to have a whole nother conversation about building a culture based on assumption because I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's huge. It's
Yes,
huge, right?
yes.
And you can do that even from a sales standpoint, a leader of sales, right? We create all of these assumptions,
Hmm.
and it doesn't allow us to get deeply curious.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I love the curiosity. I love the courage. Like all you, yeah, we're so aligned. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so as we're wrapping up, what's one piece of advice that you may add to all the gems you've dropped today to give to any founder, CEO, or sales listener, sales leader who's listening right now who may feel like they're carrying too much of the load? Any advice that you would add?
The hardest thing that you're going to have to do is to let go.
Hmm.
That is the hardest thing that you are going to have to do.
I agree.
And the only way that you will ever be able to do it is to disentangle yourself from what it is you think you have to be
Mm,
or what it is you have been in your organization outside of who you truly are.
that's so good. Like mic drop. We're done. Mic drop. But before we turn off the mics,
Yeah.
Carrie, share with people how they can connect with you. Like this is so good, and the work that you're doing is so needed in so many different organizations. I want people to connect with you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Well, we are at kinzacollective.com. So you can find us on our website. You can also email team@kinzacollective.com. We do have the Leadership Reframe events coming up. So we have two events that are happening in February of 2026. We've got one in Phoenix, Arizona, and then we have one in Columbus, Ohio. We
Yay.
will eventually be taking these around the country, but we've kind of stapled ourselves in those two locations first. So I would say that would be the best way to reach out.
Perfect. I love that. And we'll make sure this is all in the show notes. Carrie, thank you.
Oh,
Thank
thanks.
you. I love the work that you're doing. And thank you so much for being willing to share your insights today.
Thanks for having me. It was so fun.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye. That's a wrap on today's episode of Sales Culture Unfiltered. But the conversation doesn't end here. If something sparked your interest today, connect with me on LinkedIn or visit our website at thedoyenagency.com to explore how we're helping sales teams build cultures that last. And if you found this episode valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow sales leader. See you next time.